The Six Hockey presents an original feature.
The GTHL consists of a plethora of historic hockey teams, but the Marlboros may just be the most historic team out of them all. Hi, I'm Simon Hendricks with the Six Hockey, and today we are talking about all things Marlboros. The 2023-24 season is their 125th year of operation, and that is quite a long time. So let's talk about some of their history from their inception to now. They were founded in the late 1800s by local businessman and sportsman Mr. John Earls. Earls himself was a businessman who made his career in the railway industry. He was also a very involved member of the Toronto community, being a trustee at his Methodist church, as well as holding down the position of president of the Toronto Philharmonic. The name itself, Marlboro, comes from a long line of English noblemen, the Dukes of Marlborough. The early days of the logo was the Marlborough family crown, and they added the initials A and C for Athletic Club. The name Marlboro is synonymous with leadership, courage, and success. We still see that original logo today, but during the 1950s they added the iconic maple leaf into the logo. Around the same time the Maple Leafs were bought by their late owner Conn Smythe, the organization also bought the Marlboros as they realized just how important it was to have a strong farm system in place. From 1929 to 1975, the Marlboros organization won 7 Memorial Cup championships while being affiliated with the Maple Leafs. By 1967, though, the NHL declared that teams were not allowed to directly sponsor junior teams and organizations, but despite that, the two franchises were able to stay affiliated under common ownership until 1989. The Memorial Cups were not the only championships the organization saw in the mid-20th century. Their Marlboro minor midgets team went on an unfathomable run of 17 league titles in a 20-year stretch, from 1947 to 1968. Their most successful period, though, was between 1984 and 2021, where across all age levels the organization won 75 GTHL titles and 14 All-Ontario crowns. Today, despite losing their affiliation with the Maple Leafs, they are still known as the premier spot for U16 Canadian hockey players to learn, develop, and strengthen their hockey ability before they're eligible to be drafted into the OHL. Let's now talk about some past players who once suited up for the Marlboros. Toronto has seen a great deal of talent go through their doors, as Marlboro alumni have recorded almost 16,600 points in the NHL, 16,521 to be exact. That is equivalent to over 6.5 Wayne Gretzky's in terms of points. So let's see who some of the big stars that emerged from the Marlboros are. Let's first talk about Jason Spezza. Spezza played for the Toronto Marlboros U15 team during the 1997-98 season and recorded over 2 points per game with them. He surely would have played on the U16 team, but he received exceptional status at 15 years old and joined the OHL early. As an NHL player, Spezza recorded 995 points over a 19-year career and found his way into 4 All-Star appearances and even came 6th in MVP voting in the 2011-2012 season with the Ottawa Senators. When discussing his time with the Marlboros, Spezza said, quote, "I was just having a ton of fun playing. It was a really fun time to be a kid and to be a player." Spezza is by far not the only star to emerge from the Marlboros, and they are also very proud to boast that Connor McDavid is an alumni. McDavid was a member of the Toronto Marlboros U16 team as an underager in the 2011-12 season and averaged over 2.3 points per game with them that year. McDavid received exceptional status along with Spezza to be drafted to the OHL early. Not only was he the first picked in the OHL draft, but he was also the first picked in the NHL draft. He has been the best player in the NHL since he came into the league in 2015. He scored 982 points during that time, winning 3 Hart Memorial trophies, and he has led the league in scoring 5 times already out of his 9 career seasons. McDavid is a surefire Hall of Famer, and even if he retired tomorrow, he'd still be in the Hall. The league hasn't seen a talent like McDavid since the days of Lemieux and Gretzky. There's no doubt that McDavid's time with the Marlboros benefited him greatly and helped him grow from minor to junior hockey. Quinn Hughes is one of the more recent Marlboros alumni to make it to the NHL. He played with both the U15 and U16 AAA Marlboros teams and spent 2 years in total with the organization. He got to work with Paul Coffey, who is an NHL Hall of Fame defenseman who won 4 Stanley Cups and 3 Norris trophies. That's another massive unspoken advantage of the Marlboros. They often get accomplished and talented coaches to work with their players to give them better and more experienced advice. Hughes never got to work directly with Coffey, as he was in the younger age bracket when Coffey was with the U16 team, but Coffey's talent and presence definitely had an effect on Hughes. Quinn looks poised to win his first Defenseman of the Year award at just 24 years of age, and he is a massive piece of a Vancouver Canucks team who will be in the hunt to bring a cup north of the border for many years to come. Let's now talk about another captain of a Canadian team, Toronto's homegrown John Tavares. Tavares played in the Marlboros system on the U15 and U16 team in 2003-04 and 2004-05. Both seasons he recorded over 130 points and 90 goals. Along with McDavid and Spezza, he too was granted OHL exceptional status and joined the league at 15 years old, getting drafted by the Generals first overall. In the OHL, Tavares shined even brighter, scoring 215 goals in 247 career OHL games, making him the OHL's all-time leading goal scorer. Tavares' talents transferred terrifically to the NHL, as he recorded over 1,000 points in his career, has been to 6 All-Star games, and has come in the top 3 of MVP voting twice in his career. Tavares valued his time with the Marlboros so much that in 2021, he and Sam Gagner took over some operations of the organization. Tavares is looking to possibly line up a coaching job for himself with the Marlboros when it comes time for him to hang up his skates. And after enjoying his time with them so much, it's no wonder why he would want to coach with them. Tavares' newfound business partner, Sam Gagner, is yet another Marlboros graduate that has found NHL success. He registered over 150 points per year over 3 years in the GTHL with the Marlboros. Being drafted in the 4th round of the OHL draft, Gagner only spent 1 season in the OHL, but he registered a 118-point season. Gagner was not as successful as Tavares, but he still found his way. Despite being sent to the AHL in 4 separate seasons, Gagner persevered through a 17-year NHL career and counting. He has still registered over 1,000 career NHL games and 500 career points. He's a ways away from the Hall of Fame, but nonetheless, he has had a great career. He too, with Tavares, is looking to set himself up with work once he retires, taking over roles within the Marlboros. Rick Nash is a guy that many don't know was a Marlboro. Nash, hailed as the savior of Columbus hockey, started his career in the Marlboros organization, registering over 3 points per game on the U15 team. It took him a few years to find his stride in the NHL once he got the promotion, but once he did, he was a fantastic player. Nash had 10 seasons of recording over 25 goals, including 3 separate 40-goal campaigns. He was doing all of this on some very bad Columbus teams, as he only played in 1 playoff series within 9 seasons with the Blue Jackets. Evan Rodriguez is the last guy we will be highlighting in this segment. Rodriguez is another NHL journeyman who's made a name for himself out of his consistency. He joined the Marlboros for a season in 2008-2009 and performed at a pace well over a point per game. Just like many players, Rodriguez joined the Marlboros to put himself into a great position to be drafted to the OHL. Rodriguez did get drafted, but it was in a very late round, and opted to play at Boston University. He went undrafted in the NHL, but signed with the Sabres in 2015 after finishing his 4 years at Boston University, and has been making a way for himself ever since. He's recorded 207 career points in 465 games, and has appeared on 4 teams. He is a great example of a journeyman who's battled to find his place in the NHL. All this to say that the Marlboros have a great deal of incredible NHL talents as alumni. They have a storied history and a poised future. The Marlboros are always going to generate NHL talents, and if you want to catch an early glimpse of them, then check out our YouTube page. That's all for now though. Once again, I've been Simon Hendricks with the 6 Hockey, and we will see you next time.